Hey guys, this is Taylor coming at you with another Technique of the Week instructional video. I'm really excited to talk to you all about major seventh chords, but not major seventh chords in its normal sense in the way we learn it being barred. These are different inversions or voicings that you can incorporate in your playing to make your playing sound a little bit more flavorful. Now, I know that major seven is used in so many different genres of music, songs, and I really believe that these inversions will be able to help inspire you to play other things as well. I know it did me. So I think we're all familiar with the song Peaches by Justin Bieber. I think the whole world is familiar with Peaches by Justin Bieber. I love the song. It's a feel-good, easy song, and the progression is so simple, and it also uses major seven chords. The purpose of the song is to get you playing. It's something you can play along with, and you can practice these inversions with. I want to remove some of the theory from behind these different inversions and make it something that's a little bit more mindless that you can just go straight to without having to think too hard about it. Okay? So, if you're not familiar with Peaches, it sounds something like this. Okay, so let's take a look at what that chord progression actually looks like. So we're starting off with our F major 7. Then we're moving down to E minor 7. Down to D minor 7. And the last one is on the C major 7. Now, playing that over and over and over again, it can sound cool. But this is one of those songs that has so much space in between it to where, or in between each chord, it has so much breathable space to where there's so many different things that you can do to spice it up. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to take one chord but voice it in a different way or play a different inversion over top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my F major 7 first as an example. So we got our F major 7. If you're not familiar with what that looks like, we bar. Go ahead and bar that 8th fret. Put your 3rd finger on the 10th fret of the D string. Put your 2nd finger on the 9th fret of the G string. You're going to put your 4th finger on the 10th fret of the B string. And you have an F major 7. Now, let's say I get bored with that chord and I'm like, okay, right, over and over and over again. One thing that I can do is I can take my 1st finger, shift it up a whole step, bar the first 4 strings, the D string, the G string, the B string, and the E string on the 10th fret. Then you're going to take your 3rd finger and add it to the 12th fret of the E string. And that's what it's going to look like. Now again, these are the same notes, just rearranged. And it gives you a whole different perspective on what the major 7 chord can sound like, right? Now, the beauty of this is it's so much easier to do hammer-ons and pull-offs with this. Okay, so let's put that in perspective. Okay. Now, the beauty of that is because we have 2 different major 7 chords in this progression, we can use it for our C as well, which is going to sound like this. Again, in perspective, that's your C major. This is also a C major, right? So already we have spiced it up a little bit. We've made it a little bit more tasteful, and taste is such a big thing when it comes to, you know, playing these really pretty chords, is you want to be able to place them nicely and in time, right? So let's look at another inversion that we can use and how we can use it tastefully. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use C as our as a chord that we're going to invert or change or voice differently, right? So we're going to find C on our D string, which if you're familiar with your octaves, that's going to be here. C is here. C is going to be here too, right? All you're going to do is you're going to place your third finger on the 9th fret of the G string, your second finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and your first finger on the 7th fret of the E string, right? And what that's going to sound like is, right? And this is very easy because it's literally you just laying your fingers down. They're all going from one fret to the last fret, one fret to this fret to this fret to this fret. Very easy to remember. So let's put that in perspective. Let's go ahead. We're going to count where we are, and we're going to incorporate that chord in place of the last C major 7 chord. Okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and go ahead and put that other C major 7 in there. It's pretty, right? Just as a singer would sing things differently, we as guitar players can also play it differently. And that goes for any melodic instrument. So let's go ahead and let's try to put both of those examples into the same progression. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our F major 7 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And if you want, you can come back to the C major here. Now, another thing you can think about, once you start hearing these chords, what's going to start coming to you is where you want to place them, because you become familiar with what they sound like. And because this C major 7 is closer to my F major 7, and in matter of fact, it shares some notes that the F major 7 has, I would actually prefer to land or end my progression on that version of an F major 7, right? So what that would end up sounding like is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see how satisfying that sounds now? It almost kind of wants to resolve back on that F major 7, and it starts to sound a little bit more fancy, I guess. And I really like doing, you know, like changing my voicings, because again, it gives you so much more to play with. Now, what would happen if I reverse the roles? Let's see what that sounds like. Let's find the F on the D string, and that could be found down here. Or you can come up here to this F on the D string and play it. Alright? Now let's go ahead and let's try it reversing the roles. So here we go. 1, 2, ready. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Beautiful, right? It's a totally different sound now. Totally different sound. So what we can also do is we can use the F major 7 that we learned here, right? Or you can use it with the C. So we can come up to C. Right? Because again, we're figuring out how much time we have. we're now incorporating different sounds, you know, new ideas, and it's now starting to become more of a melodic and really almost like you're kind of singing along with the singer, because guitar is mid-range, right? So I think this is a great way to start off by kind of breaking out of, you know, playing chords as if they're normally played. Being able to rearrange the chords in different, you know, types of inversions. Now, there are names to these inversions. There's first inversion, there's second inversion, there's third inversion. But again, I just wanted to give you a mindless way of being able to accomplish that goal without having to think too hard about it. It still has the same name attached to it. It's still a major seventh chord. However, again, it's being voiced in a different manner. Now you're playing with octaves, you're playing with placement, and you're being able to be more tasteful about what it is that you're playing versus, you know, trying to be, you know, by the book the entire time. So I'm gonna give you one more example, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up and close it out. So here we go. Now, eventually what you'll be able to do is, with being able to time where you are, you'll be able to now connect these voicings. Again, now we're starting off with F major 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So using those different types of chords can really spice up your playing. And for the last example, I kind of want to just show you guys how to implement everything that I showed you together. I'm going to start off with one example that I already showed you, which is being able to play 2 chords before you move to the next chord, keeping it at time, remember, and being tasteful. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to give you a couple more examples as to how to use these newfound voicings. 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and a little more. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In conclusion, I hope that you all are feeling more inspired to keep learning, keep reaching for new chords, new inversions, new voicings. I know I get inspired every time I learn a new chord. Take it along with you on your recordings, your gigs, even writing new songs. All of this is applicable wherever you go. Just make sure that you keep it tasteful, practice every single day, and make sure that, you know, if you feel inspired, go beyond what it is that I just showed you. Play around, move your fingers around, be free. This is your musical expression, and the world needs to hear it. I am Taylor G. This is Technique of the Week. Check us out on Fender Play for more tips, tricks, and lessons. Shout out to my Fender fam for having me. Shout out to all my G's out there. Keep rocking out. See y'all later.